I should be able to do this really easily. Why is this not coming to me easily? But it's because I've just probably had 3 phone calls that are about totally logical stuff. And now I'm trying to turn the creativity tap on. It just doesn't work for me. That what I know works now, where I feel good about myself, because let's face it, if you're doing a load of things that you're pushing yourself and you feel like you're stretching yourself and it's not coming easy to you, it makes you feel like shit. You don't feel good, and you get to the end of the day feeling like you've been completely unproductive. So I know what's true for me, and you're just going to have to find your truth around this. But what's true for me is I'll block out that time. And if I'm working on creative stuff, I'm working on creative stuff. Nothing can distract me. Usually I go somewhere else if I'm going to work on something creative, or I need to be in complete silence. Like as soon as Greg gets up, that's it. It's like chaos. So if Greg gets up and I'm doing creative stuff, I have to leave. I have to go, even if that's to work in the car or go to the local cafe or a hotel or just go somewhere else. I have to be somewhere else if I'm doing creative stuff. Have to be quiet. But if I'm doing logical stuff and I'm just ticking stuff off, that's really super easy. I can have distractions. I can have other stuff going because all I'm doing is ticking things off. But you must build that time in for yourself. Otherwise, you will drive yourself insane. And I have to have a break in between those things. So I'll take the dogs for a walk, or I'll go for a walk myself, and I'll put a Ripple Fest replay on and listen to one of the interviews, which are really inspiring. You know, just break up your day. Have a definite start and a definite finish. Like, know what you're going to break it up with, even if it's, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do 10 minutes of yoga. Just break your state, get yourself into the mindset and the headspace that you need to be in for the next chunk of time, and then do that next thing. And let's get to the end of every day feeling like we've really achieved something. Brilliant. I'm so glad that you got that from this, Anya. Not easy for a doer and a left brain logical thinker like me. Creativity doesn't come natural to me. Yeah, I totally get it. But it will come more naturally to you if you time block. If you're creating a brochure, for example, trying to reach out to people on LinkedIn and connect with people on LinkedIn and then create that brochure. It's no wonder you're not going to feel creative. You need to build in that creative time. If you aren't naturally creative and you are more logical and strategic, what are the things that make you feel creative? Is it to surround yourself? I know like orange is a really amazing color. Orange, red, purples. If you are influenced by your environment, I'm very influenced by my environment. So if you're influenced by your environment, then go and take yourself somewhere where you're surrounded by the colors that inspire you, an environment that you feel creative in. Move yourself into an environment that you get that kind of inspiration. Play your favorite song, get your energy right up. Like when you're when you're out and that song comes on and you're like, you can't stop your body from moving and you can't stop your mouth from opening and singing to every word. It's like, get that song on, turn that dial up within yourself. Do the things that make you feel creative. Dance like a freaking lunatic, like no one's watching for a couple of minutes, right? That's going to get your energy going. So if you're going to do something that's creative, that needs your creative energy, then do something creative and energetic that feeds into that before you sit down to do it. It's just a state process. It's just making sure that you change your state to match the frequency that you need to be thinking at for when you're going into work at that level. Krish, I think for me, it's asking the question, how do I want to be today? What traits do I want to express in my being? This shifted the energy for me. Absolutely. And that's another element to this activity, actually. If you want to then do that as well, is to break that up and say, okay, this week these are the things that I have to get done, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. you might add things to that as you go throughout the week, but just start with 10, because then that's like 2 things a day, isn't it, realistically? How am I going to break my days up? So that morning's going to be logical, that afternoon's going to be creative, the next morning's going to be creative, the afternoon's going to be logical. You break it up however, and think about what you've got to do. Think about what energy you're going to need to be in to create that, how long you estimate is going to take you to do it, and who do you want to be? Who do you need to be? What role do you need to step into? Like for that role, do you need to step into the role of the CEO? For that role, do you need to step into the role of customer service? For that role, do you need to step into accountant? For that role, do you need to step into ambassador? Like each of the different things will need a different hat, a different energy, and a different level of you. And some things will be really low level, easy, do it blindfolded with your hands tied behind your back. And others are going to need your brain. They're going to need you to think about it and be totally present with it. So, doing this on a day-to-day basis is good, but if you can sit down and do it, like I say, I do mine on a Sunday. If you sit down, do it on a Sunday evening with a cup of tea, just plan out the week. You go into the week with a level of certainty and commitment towards the vision that you don't have if you're just doing it day to day. It can be a bit chaotic if you're just trying to manage that day to day. I've got some other productivity type techniques, and I can introduce them in to these mornings if you think that would help you, if because you're the CEO of your business and you need to start acting like a CEO if you're not already, right? Need to step up, need to start acting like a CEO. And there are things that you're going to need to do that you might not want to do, but they have to be done until you have somebody else that can do them for you. Anya, I spend too long in my logical mind trying to make things happen. I need to make time for creativity where I'm not overthinking and getting into worry. That's perfect, Anya. And blocking that time in is so important for yourself. And maybe get quiet. What state do you need to be in? Who do you need to be in? Who do you need to be more of when you're doing that? What role is that in the business? So if you had a whole team of people working for you, which role would that fit? Who would you need to be? What have you, so that when you break and you take that walk or you do that yoga or you do that meditation, you are already positioning yourself to get into that energy you're going to need to be in for the second half of that day. Sammy, I found relaxing really helps with my creativity. It all just flows, and I then just trust. Some of my best ideas and content is created this way. I don't question it. I trust and follow how I'm being guided. It comes really quickly, which saves me so much time and energy. Yeah, amazing. Like if I've got something creative, and I'm just realizing this about myself now, if I've got something creative that I need to work on, it's so funny. Usually what I'll do is I'll go to sleep. I'll put a meditation on. I fall asleep every time. I can't listen to a whole meditation all the way through. Like I get maximum 2 minutes through a meditation. I'm in the land of nod, and I'll wake up like 40 minutes later. The answer is there. Off I go. So sleep is one of mine. Right? Yours might be dance. Everybody has something different. You just got to try all of these different things and see what comes to you. If you're in the workplace, Chris, you might not be able to climb under your desk and go to sleep for 30 minutes. You might not be able to do that, but you might be able to go to your car and do that. So, it's just finding that way of moving yourself into the state and the environment that creates the state that you need to be in to get done what you need to achieve. You'll probably claw back at least 50% of your time just by doing this, because you'll be in the right energy and you'll be productive when you're doing those things. All right, so final question. I see that you've put an article in the chat for us